What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to welding stream number 19. George is here. How's it going, man? Tonight, we're going to be welding some fittings and caps on some of the catch cans we've welded over the last 18 streams. With any luck, we have foot cam as requested by Chris on a previous stream. Maybe. And I didn't test my rotator, but there we go. I have moved this whole welding bay around and evidently bumped the switch on the rotator. Alright, he's good. Got some sleeves, got some gloves. Yeah, welcome, man. Appreciate you being here. That's awesome. I was desperately trying to change the lens on this camera before I started the stream tonight. Almost every night I try and put a different lens on. I have a Sigma 16. It's a bloody beautiful lens, but I just can't frame this shot with it at the moment. Which is a bit of a bummer. I'm just thinking about that at the moment, but I want to use it and I will endeavour to figure it out, but this is an 11mm lens and the Sigma is a 16mm lens. So a little bit of a difference in where the camera sits. But while I'm here, I'm just going to try and frame up this shot a little bit better. You see a bit more of the table there. So we've got foot cam tonight. I have tested it a couple of times today and it drops out from time to time, so we're going to persist with it. It's in a welding screen, so it shouldn't have the same audio as these, so you guys don't get your ears blown out by the welder. Yeah, I mean the size of the shot looks good in the 11mm, but the difference is the f-stop on them. Place 2 push-in fittings on the skyline. Is that on the rocker cover? There's sometimes, well, the ones that I sell, they're only 0.4mm difference in the size. Super easy to get the wrong ones. You know, the thickness of paint will put them in the wrong spot, or give them a tight fit, rather. Yeah, so f-stop on these, this is a 4 f-stop and the Sigma lens is a 1.4, and it just gives us a nice blurry background. It's the look that I want to go for. I use it in my YouTube videos and my shorts and TikToks and whatnot. Yeah, just so desperate to use it in the stream, and I keep putting it on and taking it off every single night. Yeah, if they use the Speedflow brand, super easy to get the wrong size. But if you use a Raceworks branded one, they have a bigger taper, so they will compensate for both of the sizes. It's just really crappy that Nissan on the RB, and from my experience, you don't know which one it's going to be. You literally have to measure every single car. Years, models, doesn't seem to make that much of a difference. But yeah, poor form, but it happens, man. It happens. It's super easy to do. The part numbers are so similar as well that I often ship out the wrong ones because you can't physically tell the difference on 0.4 of a mil. But easy problem to fix, fortunately. But just sucks. But yeah, if you go for the Raceworks ones, they will suit no matter what size you've got. But if they're loose, they'll be a 708-10-02 will be what you need, I think. Alright, so we're going to start with this weld on here. Let's just check the looking camera. So I played around with this camera today after some grainy shots yesterday, and hopefully we have a better looking picture today. And I'm also hoping that the audio is better. I found a massive problem with my PC giving the static that's been coming through the audio. I thought it was either the fan or the AI I was using to try and block out the fan. Yeah, awesome, man. Come down anytime. You're always welcome, of course. And we're chatting about that snorkel. I'd bloody love to do that for you as well. But yeah, whenever you're out this way, just give me a heads up, because sometimes I'm running around, but you're more than welcome at any time, man. I've actually got some stuff here right now. I don't know if it'll be here at the end of the month, but that you'd be pretty keen to see, I reckon. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Have a good night, man, and we'll catch up soon, I'm sure. So hopefully we've got better image quality on this camera, better audio. I have it playing in my ear, but I have it turned down really low because I find it super difficult to talk at the same time I'm listening to myself talk 40 seconds ago. Another couple of additions to the stream. I've got this little subscribe situation going on in the corner. It hasn't updated for 9 days, but we have had new subscribers, and I found out today that people can have their subscription or their notifications turned to private. So if you've subscribed, you've got that as private, it won't pop up here. And I've got a buy me a coffee tipping donation situation going on, which if that happens during the stream, it will most likely scare the crap out of me. But just working on stuff in the background, preparing for the event where we get 1,000 subscribers and YouTube will let me start advertising this stream, which is something that I'm looking forward to doing, because I feel like I'm definitely getting the stream in the ballpark of the quality I want it to be. So for these fittings, I'm using profile number 2 instead of profile number 1. This profile, I don't know off the top of my head, is a square wave, 125 Hertz, negative 30% on the AC balance instead of negative 28 that we normally run. Max amps, 154. I think that 4 is just a token. I think we're still running. Let me just double check. Get out of here. If I push the right buttons. So in TIG settings, we are still running that 95% high frequency spark force to try and stop the EMF on the cameras. I haven't increased it on this profile, so we'll see how it goes. And that all looks good. We'll just pop over to this screen here. So I've got some fittings out on the table here, some dash 10s and some dash 6s, and 2 caps we're going to weld on right now. I've run them through the sonic cleaner today, so they are all good to go. Let's get you over here, and watching the stream VOD back last night, I noticed that a lot of the time the actual weld arc was out of the frame, so I'll try and do better tonight. Get you in focus. We will chuck your welding helmet on and let's weld on this first fitting. All right, so not a bad one to get started on. The camera stayed on, which is awesome. I just want to check this one. So the foot camera has frozen, which I anticipated that it might, which is why I didn't put you guys in that camera to start with. But I think this camera over here stayed on, which is wonderful because that was freezing last night. So, how am I going to solve this camera problem? I've just dropped it down, basically just changed the aperture on it digitally. It worked the other night, so we'll try it tonight. That camera may just continue to freeze. It has something to do with the USB ports on my computer, and sitting the camera on the ground, it's virtually right next to the power source, so might just be what we have to deal with, but I will endeavour to solve the problem as the days go on. So we just welded this one here, and it's actually the old version of this R34. So this is the R34 washer bottle. I still had a ton of these left over from laser cutting of this old design. So basically I've removed this portion because the new Plasma Man manifolds, you have to push the fuse box across, and then this didn't fit in anymore, and that was only there to give it a bit more volume. But I've got 5 of these left over from laser cutting. So with George's car, who was in the stream earlier, we managed to design this to be a radiator overflow on the opposite side of the vehicle, just with some different brackets and putting some internal plumbing. So both the inlet and outlet are at the bottom here, but we run a tube up for the outlet right up to the top there, and then an outlet off the side there. So that worked really well anyway. So I'm going to make another 5 of those, and then they sort of go together as a package. So I do an R34 catch can, an R34 overflow bottle, and I also have a fire extinguisher bracket, and I sell them as a package. G'day Chris, how are you tonight, mate? So we'll dive into this one. We'll try the foot cam. If it freezes, it freezes, and we might have to just retire it for the night, but we'll give it a go. I was finishing before I switched screens there. Trying to tune it up there. Its default settings are different to the stream output settings, so it's a bit laggy. But anyway, we'll give it a go and see what happens. Yeah, good to hear, man. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. It's been a long day, but I'm super happy that it's stream time now. Definitely froze. I will make one more attempt to fix that. I don't want to give up so easily. I don't know how long it worked for, but yeah, just a shame that thing's not gonna cooperate. I think it might be the actual camera itself. It's the original camera that I bought for this stream, the webcam. and it hasn't had a good life in its short little life. But those two fittings are done, so I'm just going to pop those over on the bench behind me. And see if I can swap the port that camera is in, if I can remember which cable it is. Just bear with me for a second. So it's this one here. I think it's got something to do with this. I think that was the right camera. No, it was the wrong camera. Gosh. That was a 50-50 chance, but the stream came back, fortunately. Trying to pick the right cable in the dark, never a good idea. And now I've got to fight with a piece of Velcro on my gloves. So we'll just look at that. Just turn it into Adam's troubleshooting stream for a second. Bear with me. No, it doesn't look like it wants to easily play ball with us. It doesn't make that USB plugged in sound, so it doesn't seem promising. We've got it back, we'll try it one more time, and then I will give up on it. So I'm going to, since I moved this entire room around, I'll call it a room, but basically I've just enclosed the middle of my shop to make this sort of zone to weld in. I don't have a crossbar going across above my table anymore, for the light mainly. So I no longer have an easy place to put my laser pointer. So we are laser pointer-less tonight. So we'll get a -6 on the bottom of this one. And that needs to be out there. Let's have a look here. Excellent, so we should be good. I just need to remember to keep my elbows up as that can comes around. I'll pop your welding helmet on and we'll try the foot screen again. definitely not going to play ball, so I'll have to give up on it for the time being. So, okay, get the dash 10s on this one now. We'll just sort of guesstimate where centre is and then have a bit of a check. So I have no dash. Actually, I think these need to be drilled out. No, they don't. That's a bit good. I was thinking the other day about whether I should line the starts of the threads up. I know it doesn't matter, but just something I was thinking about. So yeah, no dash 12s tonight, so I'm just going to get all the 10s on, and when I pick up some dash 12s, I'll just have to come back and buzz those on, but I really need to get these tanks finished. And I picked up a couple of because I can't think and talk at the same time. Picked up a couple of number 4 standard gas cups to be able to do in between here. So we'll just swap out this torch. If I can find 2.4 mil. Hopefully it'll save having to do that reposition, and in turn save a bit of time. I was at Trade Tools today, and yeah, they sell the what are they? Unimig parts there, so I just grabbed a couple of number 4 cups because I knew we were welding fittings tonight. I don't quite know what the deal is with Unimig. I think their razor stuff is all proprietary, but they seem to sell regular consumables, or number 9 consumables at least. But I got their back caps as well. They have this cool, it's just like a really fat, the medium back cap. I really like it. Again, I pick them up from Trade Tools every now and then when I stop in there to replace my my linishing belt. What do I want to do? I want to just recheck the gas flow now that we've changed that cup. We're about 6 litres. I'll just bump it up to about 7 there. I'm not going to swap this tungsten out because it's got a really nice bowl on it. It's the one we used last night, and for as long as it's got this really nice little bowl on it, I'll keep using it. So get you guys in here. I'm going to be really mindful to keep you guys zoomed in tonight, and we'll pop your welding helmet on. I painted 2 lines on my lens tonight so I can set it back and forth a bit quicker, and we'll just jump in a regular welding screen. All right, really out of position on that weld. Not my greatest work, and I think I need to up the gas a little bit too. It's not quite as shiny as I'd like it to be. But hopefully we're in a better position on this one. Still a little bit wandery, but that will do. I'll show you these. This is out the sonic cleaner. This fitting here versus this fitting here. I have no idea what's on these fittings, but every now and then it's like 1 in 20 will come out the sonic cleaner looking like it's been dragged along the bottom of the ocean, and the rest of them look absolutely fine. So I'm not sure. I can only assume that this has been sitting at the bottom of the barrel all night when it's come off the machine in oil or something. This was sonic cleaned in isopropyl. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do with it. I might try tumbling it in some walnut or something and see if I can clean it up, but for the time being, I'm just not going to use them. So I'm just going to line those threads up. I don't know why, it's just something I feel like I need to do tonight. Yeah, T2 and T3. So are they the equivalent to number 9 and number 17? What are they? They're like reverse, like female threads instead of male threads. I have no idea. Yeah. And I imagine, like, similar to this machine, like I just had to make my own components to run a DINS connector on the front instead of the threaded thing. Like, yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. But who makes the converter to go from the, I guess what would be the T2 to a number 9 or 17? 17 and 26. Yeah, gotcha. Does CK or someone make an adapter? Or probably Hampton. Hampton are doing their own sort of connectors, or they are for the Kempi at least anyway. Alright, I'm sitting a bit too low for this. Like, backed into where I've moved all this stuff around, I've got my gas bottle over here and my welder over here, so I can change the gas bottle out easily. But the line from the regulator to the machine is about 400 mil too short. I've ordered a longer line, but at the moment I have the welder pressed up hard against the foot pedal, so sometimes it's a little bit shitty. So on this tank, these are the ones that are super close together. I'll just spin around there so you can see. Super close together, so I can't quite get in between there, but I will be able to get 2 bites at it. We'll just have to make it happen. Makes total sense. T3 300, T2 200 amp. Just ahead of the torch. Yeah, okay, so you just change the actual torch and not the whole line. So for the razor, so if you get the 200 amp razor, can you get a water cooler for that, or does it come water cooled? And is it still T2, or do they call it something else? Alright, let's get your welding helmet on here and jump in this screen here. Alright, still not as shiny as I'd like. I don't think it's a collet issue. I think it still might be not enough gas. Oh gosh. So we got our 2-10s on. We've got our -6 on. Just going to let him chill out there and cool down. And while he's over there, I'm just going to chuck a couple of -10s in there to pre-warm. And a -6. Water-cooled torch is a T3W, makes total sense. So no water cooler for the T2 version then. So every week or so I get a couple of questions about the Kempe machine, of people either wanting to buy or troubleshooting or wanting to know how they can run a CK torch, whatever I've got going on YouTube. But lately I've been getting a lot of questions about the Razor welder, and I've never used them before. So I think the question that comes up the most is the AC balance, and from what I have gathered from people is that it's like a 1 to 5 setting or a -5 setting. So I've been thinking about getting one, but it's not worth it just to be able to help people. Well, currently, it's not worth it to be able to answer people's questions on the internet. But yeah, having never used one, my Lincoln, Miller, Kempe, and the Token Tools are are the only machines I've owned, or owned, and Allmax. I think my very first TIG welder was an Allmax, $600 on YouTube, on eBay, and it was a beast of a machine. So we've got a -6 there. I am so I played around with the settings on this little camera today, and the picture is looking amazing. It was basically just ISO settings. It was on auto ISO because I have done a hack, a software hack on that camera to be able to run it the way that I do. I lose access to the menu that shows the settings while it's outputting this clean picture. So messed around with it earlier today, and really happy with that picture quality. So noticed it looked dreadful yesterday. So pop your welding helmet on. Yeah, okay, so Razor 200, it's portable. Oh, you still have your 200. Yeah, gotcha. Is there a water cooled option for the 200? And what size equivalent would a T2 torch be? You told me earlier, I think 17 and 26, T2, T3. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm learning. I'll pop you in a welding screen and we'll get this fitting welded on. Cool. So what's the scale of the AC balance on the Razor? Is it -5 to +5? Something doesn't feel right with the settings I've got going on tonight. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so on my old gosh, what was it? Token Tools welder. I had the water cooler that came with the 3-phase. It was built into a welding cart. Silent. I use it to cool my spindle on my CNC machine now. Absolutely silent, like way too big for a 200 amp machine. Especially compared to the one on the Kempi here. So I've just dropped the frequency down to 120, and I'm just going to drop this AC balance down to -28. Something doesn't feel right, and I'm not sure what it is. I might just bump that high frequency start up that extra 5%, and I'd like to just drop that down just a half a second. We'll see if that feels a little bit better. Basically, it's just my regular setting with a few more amps. All right, and not forget to set you up. So zoom you in. So the other thing is that this camera will never have autofocus now, so every time, probably better because autofocus would go crazy every time I start welding. No welding foot pedal camera tonight. I think we've had more than a good old crack at it. Still really dull welds. It can only be the change that I've made here. I have wedge collar in here, so ordinarily I'd blame it on that after turning the gas up this far. But I'm running a wedge collar. Highly doubt it's anything pinching. Nothing's changed except for changing this collet body. We'll just double check that gas flow. Should be around 8 litres at the moment. So we're about 7.5 there. I just turned it up on that weld then. All of these parts are getting powder coated. Running 53, 56. Could try some 40, 43 just for. Except yes, I can. I was going to say, except I can't unscrew it. We'll try on this one. We'll try some 40, 43. See if we get a shiny weld this way. I don't know if you saw when I was welding that one too, it was rocking and rolling, which is just the just unsettling on the weld at the bottom there. I'm pretty sure we can get through without too much trouble. Put your welding helmet on. I don't know if you saw or heard, but actually touched the tungsten on that one. You'll see the soot there. Let's jump over here. So Kempy has this awesome feature, see if that camera's still working, which if you get it in the right circumstance, it works really well. So it's one of these two, I forget which one it is, but it just flat out cuts the current as soon as the tungsten touches. And I like barely nicked it. The tungsten stayed clean, but thanks to that setting, it just cuts the arc straight away. I know that screen's a little bit blurry right now, but yeah, the current freeze, I'd have to look at the manual to remember which one of those two settings is the one that does it. But managed to get away. I will change the tungsten before we start this next weld. But let me get that one done. And here, 4043, we got a much shinier weld as expected. So powder coating these parts, like look at the tumbled finish. Definitely not going to be anodized. So I'm not a big fan of 4043. I mainly use it when I do radiators or intercooler cores. It gives me a much better finish on the welds with a radiator core specifically. PWR is a good one where the solder that they use to solder the tubes in, no matter how much I clean it, I can never get it fully removed. So I use 4043 on those only because they do, and they get excellent results compared to me. So that's why I have it. It's an ESAB brand, which is exactly what they use at PWR. I don't know if that's a trade secret, but there you go. So yeah, ESAB 4043. It's actually a really nice filler rod, but 53, 56. I don't know. I just like the. I like how solid it is. You can tell the difference by dropping them on the table. 4043, just it's like solder to me. But it's always shiny, so if you ever want that beautiful shiny weld, just grab some 4043 and you'll get a nice shiny weld. So yeah, drop test on those filler, which is if you weld it from the wrong end and lose the label on the rod. Nice quick way to tell what you're welding with. 4047 I think has a different sound again. But yeah, that's I guess the common ones that we use in automotive. I will go back to 53, 56. Yeah, PWR, man. It's an interesting place, that's for sure. And they do some cool stuff, but yeah, if you like, from what I have seen in the factory there and from what I've heard, it's very just like get in your booth and get your work done, which you know, nothing wrong with that. For sure, but yeah, good luck on the. I meant to say it the other night, but yeah, good luck on the job hunt, man. It's that's really awesome. I'm a big fan of change. Yeah. Okay. So just going back to your previous message on the Razor 200. So adjustable AC frequency up to 250 hertz. And pulse up to 200. What do we get on these? We got a shit pulse on these from memory. Just out of curiosity, yeah, we get 20 hertz on these, which is epileptic. I have asked the rep. I chat with the New Zealand rep more than the Australian rep, but. About increasing that, because 30 pulses per second or whatever this works out to is dreadful, absolutely dreadful, which is why I always keep it around that 1 pulse mark. Yeah, 200 pulses is good. I used to run, I've got a video on my YouTube channel somewhere about a weird aluminium setting that I had on my Token Tools machine, and it was basically like running straight current, but it was running like a 5% on time with a 200 hertz pulse. It was beautiful to weld with. It was so forgiving, and you could put all the amps into it, which is something I was hoping to be able to do with this machine, but it's a really good power source, but I'm a bit underwhelmed by the features So I'll pop your welding helmet on and I'll just pump out this -6 and Frankie, I see you there. I'll come back to you after this weld. Alright, totally forgot that I left it on a pulse setting for that one. Just double pulsed it. The amperage was probably a little bit too low, which is why I hung out on a double pulse. We'll go back to setting number 2 here. And I've lost my changes that I made because I didn't save. So let's just jump back to 120 Hertz and -28 on the AC balance. You guys can't see this. And the big camera has frozen. Are we coming back? I had, when I started that weld, it wouldn't start the arc, so that normally drops out the main camera there. I'll just reset it, bear with me. This is Adam's troubleshooting stream. I think it's this one. I'll see if I can get you back here. Okay, that one's come back. Can we get the other one back? We sure can. Alright, we're back in business. Tutorial on how you did the turntable. No, I didn't film it, but I can tell you right now, it's not a lot to it. I literally just got a cheap turntable off of eBay, the little blue ones that you see, and let me liberate it here. And I just unbolted it from the frame. I'll zoom you out and we'll have a better look. So I just unbolted this section from the frame and unbolted the plate and the chuck from the front. I fixed these 3, these are just 20 kilo rare earth magnets. I just fixed those to the front with some skateboard bearing spacers, which work out to be perfectly level. And I just threaded and tapped a M6 hole in there. So I can literally just line that up with a hole on the table here. And you can see it's well framed by the Lazy Susan bearing. And then this is just some plywood that I cut on my CO2 laser because my CNC router wasn't finished being assembled, so that just did the job, and it hasn't needed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this, I originally had just bolted it through there, but I was able to put this keyway in on the back of my welding plate here. And the control box for it, I've just mounted, again with magnets, onto the side of the table. Super easy, man. Like, if you want it built into your bench, I had thought about cutting out a circle and having the whole table. I actually designed one in CAD, a whole rotating section on the tabletop with all these 50mm hole spacings. But this, like, sometimes the simplest solution is the best solution. Yeah, I think it's a bit too rudimentary for a YouTube video. Generally on YouTube, if it's a bit too ghetto, it's not. I mean, in my experience, it's not super well received. So some things I just do for me. I don't film everything. But still dealing with some, I guess it's gas flow issue. It can't be, because our 4043 welded okay. So I'm just going to reduce that stick out. Since I'm not running a gas lens, I probably should have done that anyway. And we'll get in and weld these two fittings, and see how it goes. We've got you focused in there. I'll just pop your welding helmet on. Oh, I just went past your welding helmet. There you go. Yeah, man, quite like this prop. I think, like, using camera gear. You know, like, thinking outside the box is kind of my thing. But yeah, people like to buy a solution. I like to make a solution. It's just it's one of my quirks, I guess. I say I have a DIY addiction. That's how I describe it, at least. All right. I guess just one thing with these cheap positioners, they don't spin slow enough to just be able to constantly weld, which is why I've got this start-stop method. Because the only reason is because it spins too fast, and my solution was to do this 2-foot pedal dance, which I can show you here, but I can't talk to you while I do it. But for me, it's a lot more control. doing the 2-foot pedal dance than to set a machine and just let it go. At least every dab I'm resetting and getting the speed right. Sets the distance on the dabs, you can see there. Right here was a wrist reposition, but get good consistency doing the 2-foot shuffle. I'll get your welding helmet on and pop you in a welding screen. Alrighty. That welding sound is different tonight. I've actually got a different microphone recording the welding sound. Definitely sounds different tonight. I'll check it later and see how bad it is. Hopefully it's alright for you guys. So we got 53-56 on that one and 40-43 on this one again. You can definitely see, if I brighten it up there, you can definitely see a difference in the shine, which is to be expected. Where are we? We're at 1 hour and 18 minutes. I am starving, so I'm going to call the stream there. We did 3 catch cans and a couple of screw fittings. Got those dash 12s to go. They will be here tomorrow, hopefully. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. We had George, Chris and Frankie here tonight. You guys are bloody awesome. I really, really appreciate it. It really does mean the world that you guys rock up and interact with me. Thursday today, so I will be back tomorrow, I think, for another evening stream. You guys have an awesome night. I'll try and get the foot camera situation fixed if we've got more fittings to do tomorrow. But for right now, have a great night, guys. And everyone watching this after it was live, you guys rock as well. I really appreciate you checking out my stuff.